clicked on the wrong button, ladies and gentlemen. So, okay. So may I start, Sabrina?
Absolutely.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I know that you have a lot of things to do, but you are here. I'm honored you're present. But today I would like to share with you my thought about the Veterans Day. You know, to most people, they think that veterans is the soldier who are out there to fighting for war. And to my experience and my encounter with them, and I think that for every soldier go out there, their family also fighting war as well. At this moment, to those people who fought for my war, fighting for freedom, I'm grateful because you fought for freedom, make my freedom possible. You know, in the history on the March 23rd, 1775, Patrick Henry said, make a very powerful statement. He said, give me freedom or give me death. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, I can never be as eloquent as Patrick Henry, but I will tell you this. I gave everything I got for freedom. My journey from there to here, it is a rough journey from a war refugee to a wanderer in this great country. And every day of my life, I thinking that I'm a warrior because I'm continuing to fight for what I believe and what I want. And on that journey, I also I learned a lot. And what I'm more impressed was that I also discovered the boldness and the greatness of this great country and the generosity of its people. In 2006, I met Charlie Tremendous Jones, and Charlie told me that 5 years from now, you were exactly the same person, except for the book you read and for the people you met. And American people, the people I have met on my journey, including you, my friends, I am today because of you. As I embrace the freedom and appreciate what I have today, from coming here from penniless, didn't speak any English and have any connections. I am where I am today because of you. I'm grateful for our path crossed, and I'm grateful for the people like yourself that I met on the blab for 2 months. We just like we got into a very speedy building relationship. Sabrina, I met you less than 2 months, and Jeremy, you just like my confidence, my trusted friends. I'm grateful for that. And what more, today I want to acknowledge that I'm grateful for this country, for the people, fight for the war, fight for freedom, because they make my freedom possible. So that is my thought for today, and thank you for giving me a moment to say that, because with such a heartfelt gratitude to being here, to be with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. So we talk about, today, we're talking about acting as if. Your thoughts, Sabrina?
Acting as if. Wow, I don't even know how to speak to that. Give me some more depth to acting as if, huh? What does that mean?
Because when I'm talking about acting as if, we all have visions. First of all, let me say that
like acting as if we're successful, or
yes. I believe in you, and I knowing that just like you, every one of us have a vision. And I think that when we have a vision, we hold on that thought for just a moment and step into that vision. And then we will step in that vision. That means we acting as if. That's the power of suggestions.
Well, I think that acting as if is very important. And I don't know. Would you consider it the same thing as fake it till you make it or not?
No, oh no, 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 no. Fake have nothing to do with my life. I think that you acting it, you step on that vision, you act of it until you become it.
Yes.
You have to bring it in. You have to bring it on. You have to get into the zone. You have to get there. But you have to elevate your vision. Your vision is there. You need to elevate yourself. Just like you are version 1.0. Now you have to upgrade your vision to 2.0 to get where you needed to go, to activating your goal, your ability to get to, from where you are to where you needed to go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it absolutely makes sense, because I acting as if kind of comes along with the whole visualization thing.
That's correct.
I
yes.
guess to me they're kind of hand in hand.
Yes.
And I do my visualizations every day because I feel the need to be successful in my own right. And when I say successful, I don't mean successful in the sense that other people consider me successful. I want to be successful to me, for myself. So I have some goals and some things that I'm trying to work on and make happen. And I take the time to make those visualizations every single day, along with being thankful. I mean, I get up and I put one foot down in the morning and I say thanks. And I put the second foot down in the morning and I say you. And then I give thanks for all the things that I'm thankful for every step of the way to wherever it is that I'm going from my bedroom. And then I take the time to visualize my thanks and visualize my day. And by visualizing my day, I think that always helps. That also helps me do the acting as if.
Okay, so if that's the way you see it, let me congratulate you. Because when you see it, you already have it. It doesn't matter for you to get there. That's the power of suggestion, the power of acting as if.
It's really hard to keep those little negative guys from creeping in. Do this.
See, that's why when you have that vision, you have to hold on that vision.
It's hard to hold that vision all day long, though. I got to tell you, it is not an easy task. There's always
it's not, because if that's easy, then everybody they get there. See, that's why when you get there, it's so meaningful, because you know that it's hard and you fought every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Absolutely.
Jeremy, sir, tell me your thought.
Because, in high school, I remember people throwing around the phrase as if in a sarcastic, cynical way. But if you put acting in front of it, it has a different wrapper. It has a more positive wrapper. And I think, like Sabrina said, it goes very powerfully with visualization. I think it goes to the, being goal-oriented, having a goal in mind, seeing all the incremental steps you have to take, seeing and believing that you can make that happen, and then acting, taking action, getting off the couch, if you will, to make your future happen. If we don't get off the couch, the acting part of this phrase is very important. If we don't get off the couch, we're not going to get to the finish line that we are hoping for, visualizing, seeing in our heads.
I know, but I agree totally, because because action needed.
Mm-hmm.
When people they talking about could you hear the echo? When people talking about the law of attraction, the law of attraction have to accompany by the law of action. You just cannot wish your way and then get it what you want. Two people, they strongly believe that if they wishing hard enough, the universe will provide it to them. But, I think that your God or the universe or, help them to help you do something, because they give you the ability and, the gift, because that gift and that talent have purpose. Because
right.
They want you to using all that and not forget to where you needed to.
Yep.
There's Mary Beth. Hi, Mary Beth.
Hey,
Mary
Sabrina.
Beth.
Hey,
Welcome.
Jeremy.
So glad you could join us.
Yeah.
Okay, my friend, tell me about acting as if mean to you.
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
I'm not sure if you really want to hear what I have to say.
Of course we do.
Just be nice.
Yeah.
I will. I'm always nice.
I know.
I'm not sure if I actually like the term acting as if.
Okay.
I like the term visualization, visualizing, you know, and imagining the person that you want to become. However, what you have ingrained in you is who you are. And I think that people really need to start learning how to accept who they are and accept themselves instead of wanting to be something or someone else. And I think that people get caught up into, when you hear the term acting as if to a lot of people means acting as if something or someone else that they may or may not have the skills or the ability or the talents to do. And that, I believe, sometimes sets people up for failure. And I like to, what I teach people is that, who are you? What do you bring? Because what they, and again, accepting them, what they bring is powerful. And
Okay.
to build on that.
But because the acting, that means you shaping it to get to where you need it to. And like Sabrina talking about the visions, she have it. That's why she can visualize it. And then if you visualize that, and that is a thought, and that if you held on it, and you just walk forward that. And then you have to fight at every step of the way to get there. Because I think that visualization is a great, but the distance, just like when you have the camera, the lens, you have to zoom in and out. But the acting, that you shape it to the point that where you need it to. That might take on it. If anyone have anything to say, okay, here I have Sean said here. He said, I agree. I was resonate with, someone, comment. LOA? What is LOA stand for?
Law of attraction. Yeah. If you look way up above, Sean had a comment. Yes, it is the law of attraction and not the law of inaction. And I that clicked with me because you talked about the law of action. And I thought it was interesting how Sean pointed out, maybe there's a law of inaction that if we're too passive, things don't happen. And I think, Mary Beth is right. I think we do have to realize who we are and where we are, but we also have to get off the couch. And it's easy to get caught up in this law of attraction and not actually take steps to do something. We do have to use the talents and gifts that we have been given, as Ha indicated.
Right, and you build on your talents and skills. And again, that's where people, again, get stuck, is that they're not building on what they have. They want something that they don't have. And what you have ingrained in you should be built on, and that comes out in a much more powerful way. And that's who you are, and that's what you bring to the world.
Okay, no, I agree that, because with your gift or your talent that's a given to you, but it's also cultivated. Because this is whatever you want, you need to go out there to inquire, to be specialized on that. I know that recently that Jeremy go out there to go to get the certified on something, and I think that because that his vision, he see that he will be a great kick-ass coach, but again, he need to have something to back him up. So he have done that. Just like you, Sabrina, when you want something, or Mary Beth or myself, something that we want, it's something we see, it's something we can visualize it, not something that just fall up from the sky. It is something that a part of us, we see it, we feel it, and we can taste it. But until we find a way to get there, is that we have to step on that vision, and we have to reactivate it, our dream, our thought, and we have to reframe it in order for us to go into that direction and to get what we want. Because if you have in your mind, you already have, but you just need to go there to get it.
You know, and on that note, I'm sorry, I have to address something in the chat that's making me nuts.
Okay.
Chuck says, so misunderstood after the fallacy of The Secret. And then he says, yes, they lifted Hanel's work, except they left out the marrow, knowing it would not sell with the emphasis on action. I don't think they left out the action, and I don't think it was a fallacy. So, you know, I totally disagree with you with regard to that. But I'm willing to learn from you. However, I live my life based on The Secret. I have the audio book, and I listen to it daily. I have found it to be real. It may not be a complete guide, but I know that that there are things in The Secret that genuinely work. And I think that's part of the conversation that we're talking about today. The acting as if. The acting as if is a piece in The Secret. I mean, that is a genuine piece in The Secret. So, okay, go ahead. Sorry, I just felt the need to address that.
You know, just like anything else, you know, for any movie, they just cannot play frame by frame. They must have the concept, and sometimes is, you know, they might omit something, but again, it is there, you know, and sometimes that we have to read between the lines, or we have to really start to thinking, okay, from where they are, how they get there, they must have the vehicle somewhere to transport them to be there. You know, I mean, I also read it. I also watching the movie of The Secret. Now, those guys who in that, they are extremely successful. They are extremely rich. And if we didn't get what they get, that means we're missing something.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Chuck says, nice save, Sean. Yeah, nice save, Sean. So anyway, yeah. I had to throw my 2 cents out there. And we can agree to disagree, but that's okay, because I am willing to learn from you. That's one of the things I learned on my blab today with Christy Smallwood.
No, I don't think that any one of us said that we know all, because, you know, we know some, and then together we get like a piece of puzzle, and we come together, we become a great whole. Now, I know Mary Beth for a long time. Mary Beth a realist, and then she is not going to make any false promises, not anything. She will really concentrate on look inside of you, what you have, and how you cultivate that, and to make it better, or make it more successful for you. And I believe in that too. But for me, as a person that hang on the cliff by the tip of fingernails, I truly believe in you know, the something somewhere. There's a power somewhere, because I have to be alive in order for me to sit here to share my opinion and my thought to someone, because I think that my life has purpose, and I'm here. I'm not die during my journey. I came here. I'm survived because I have to serve some purpose.
No, I understand how, but what I think what I'm trying to kind of say is that there is no magic bullet, and it takes time. It takes action. It takes dedication, and people go at their own speeds. And if we, you know, look at other people and say, well, we should be where they're at now, I don't think that's a good thing, because you go at your own speed, and there is no magic bullet. You know, people come in and you know, I'm a therapist. People come into me all the time and expect that they're going to be cured in 3 to 6 sessions. There is no cure. There is no cure. You know, it's what you want to do and how long it takes you to get to where you want to be. And I always tell people there is no magic bullet.
In the same token, to Mary Beth, you cannot measure yourself by somebody's merit, or you cannot using your merit to measure someone, because every individual, they have their own growth, they have their own success. You know, because again, the last couple of shows we're talking about what success means to you. Success means different to different people.
Yeah. Yep.
But again, now we got to come back to act as if. So,
So acting as if there's a lot of conversation in the chat right now, you guys. And I know that everybody's talking, so it's hard to catch it all. But there's a lot of chat right now talking about the lack of action focused on or talked about in The Secret. So acting as if, I guess you would have to talk about how you're viewing that, as if it's just visualizing or imaginary, or if there is daily action taken. You do have to take an action, but I don't think you always need to know what that action's going to be. I mean, it's like, and they say this specifically even in The Secret, and I don't mean to like get on the whole secret thing, but it's like driving a car from California to New York. You only need to be able to see the next 120 feet of the headlights. Eventually you'll get to New York, correct?
Right. But the way I see it, life is just like anything else. When it offered to you, you can say no or you can say yes. When you say yes, that means you take that option and you explore, and then the opportunity or whatever you going to do, and act as if. And very simple and then very down to earth example. Just like when you go to work, you go for the job interview. You don't go and dress for for the office manager. You don't
Correct.
dress for a technician. You have to dress for appropriate to that job or a position higher than you're seeking for. And then you go in there with the confidence. You act as if, because you always can learn something that they offer. You might not know what to do, but you can learn to do it. I think that act as if it's just calling for a confidence of the individual to approaching life.
Success Sean says, yes, please share your understanding of acting as if and cite specific examples. I believe that will add clarity. And Dave says, but you have road signs and a map and you know the route. You have to take action to discover that. Yeah, I won't get into Chuck's, but I'll go. You go ahead with that. You guys can respond to that, and then we can talk about Chuck's next comment in a minute.
Now, when you look at me right now, you think that, wow, I'm a sweet Asian woman. But at one point, that I love to drive a Corvette convertible yellow 1968. Okay. What did it mean? But just like see, because that's my vision that I want to drive that, and I act as if. So I'm go to work hard, and that is my thing to do, and that's what I have, and then that's my goal. I'm driven for it, and then when I get that, and then it's no longer. But right now I'm longing for what they call a Jaguar Evergreen convertible, but I don't know, and that is so. If I act as if that I'm driving that, I don't know. I'm go off the topic, but see that what I always thinking that if I want something, I go for it, and I act as I'm going to have it, and I have to have my plan and to go for it. The specificity of the vision, I think, is extremely important. Especially if you're looking for a career goal or something like that. I mean, you have to put that vision in your head continuously. And I think some of acting as if, I think, is just it's forming good habits and honing them to make them stronger, better habits when they can be improved. So it's kind of a constant improvement, in heading down the right path. And if you realize you're on the wrong path, redirecting your efforts. So the habits, the acting is partly forming better habits and improving your vision, clarifying your vision as you go down the road. Yeah, see, that's why when you want something, go after it. And then at the time, you review it. And then if not going to direction, and then you will replant it. Because, right. Unless you get on the road, you cannot correct your course.
Sorry, guys, I'm busy reading the chat here.
Yeah. So,
but there's so much activity happening in the chat right now. Sean says, yes, the major disconnect is that many operate in the realm of effect rather than cause. This is to say that they blame people, circumstances, etc., that are outside their control. We must change to the cause mindset that all is a result of our thought, actions, and beliefs. Anyway, I just can't even read all this stuff. There is great conversation happening all in the chat over here. So,
okay,
sorry.
let me answer Sean that thing. Hey, Sean, I would say that, you will not graduate from childhood or boyhood to girlhood to a womanhood and manhood until you take the responsibility on yourself, until you own it. You're still just a child. To me, somebody take the responsibility on themselves, own their own action. They are graduate from childhood, boyhood to manhood, womanhood. Sean, will you come in, please? So, Jeremy, people are talking about Act If and then the secret. Give me your thought.
Okay, I need to say I haven't seen The Secret, and I'm barely starting to learn about the law of attraction. I am in the dark. So, you guys that know this stuff at a deep level, I have a lot of catching up to do. So, but I think, I know enough about the law of attraction that I think it works, but I think it does require action. But I just have a basic understanding of it. But I think it is important to take action every day and to make that a part of our routine. We can't just sit around and expect things to happen. That's when people fall deep into a rut and they require help and, sometimes the help of a complete cadre of people to pull them out of that. So looks like Chuck and Sean are both joining us.
Oh, good. Hi, Chuck. Hi, Sean.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Chuck.
I let Sean appear, and I will share with you the story. Today, my memory go wild.
There he is.
Sean, in 1987, I went home to see my father after 10 years, and my father sat on the chair, and I sat at his feet, and I complained to him that how the world is so cruel, and that the life is so unfair to me. And I thought that I'm the only child. I came home and I cried to my father. My father would touch my head and just say, mess at hell at the world because they don't treat his daughter well, right? But my father said, the world didn't owe me anything. So if I want something, I need to work for it. And, because he said that when he sent me to this country, he didn't send a bunch of gold or money for them to taking care of me. Therefore, retirement is not, that is not something that he want me to expecting that people would treat me well or retirement. That have to take out of my library, my vocabulary. Okay, guys.
It is amazing the wisdom of the elders, eh? Especially elders who have a grasp of who they are, which I know your father did, as you do also, because you're a progeny and were raised in his direction. Jeremy, you did mention something, and I know that I blew up the sidelines about. This is a very sensitive subject with me because it was the subject of my talk show for well over a year and a half, back about 5 years ago. The Secret was, and as David Moore mentioned on the side, a very well put together, slick presentation. And the meetings during the organization and what the goals were, they realized that if they actually took and duplicated Hanel's position from his work, The Master Key, it would be a tough sell. And that's one of the reasons why Hanel has never been popular in modern times, extremely popular at the turn of the century in the early 1900s. Napoleon Hill was a student of Hanel, and he credited, as I've mentioned on other blabs, in 1919 April, wrote Hanel a letter saying, "Thank you for week 4. It was a correspondence course. Applying action to week 4 allowed me to secure $105,000 a year part-time consulting contract." So what Napoleon Hill did was read, and you don't read Master Key, you digest it, you go through the exercises that are listed at the end of each chapter, and you do it. Well, if you don't do it, Hanel didn't care. You sent him $1 next week, and he sent you you answered the questions, you mailed those back to him, sent $1, and at the end, he sent you back a published book. So he was paid $12 at that time, a large sum of money, for a book that you'd already read, but you want to keep on your shelf. And if you read chapter by chapter, and I know Sean has, I really, Jeremy, rather than, if you read and digested Hanel first, and then watched or read The Secret, you would definitely understand where my mindset comes from. Okay. They did a wonderful job. They have affected a lot of people's lives. Unfortunately, the majority of the people that grasp The Secret weren't in charge of themselves enough to even, they misinterpreted it. This idea of manifesting and all this stuff. Now, I've manifested all my life. I visioned my farm the way it would be. But what did I do? I took all my money, put it on the line, and bought seed and fertilizer. Okay? I could have sat there in Indio, California, manifesting this farm forever, and I trust you, those crops would never be grown. It's just, that's what Hanel taught me at age 17, okay? And has taught many other people since. So I don't want to take up Ha's acting as if that's the issue today, but action, knowledge is useless without application. I mean, we've all heard these platitudes. They're not platitudes. They're the facts, go all the way back to Proverbs. And I want to leave you with one other item. It's my belief that the reason they didn't go as deep in Hanel is Hanel's work is faith-based. Okay, I'm sorry, it offends some people, but Hanel had a very good relationship with his creator. And so did many other of the New Thought movement authors. Emmett Fox, well, he was a little later, but going back to the founder of it all, Orison Swett Marden. They were individuals. They believed in the power from within. They wrote about all these things we hear about today, but they tied it directly to their belief of something else. And that isn't a good sell in today's day and age. It's where we live in a secular society, which is, fine. Everybody can be whatever they want. But that's one reason why I believe the organizers, anyway, they're an interesting group of people. Are they successful? Yes. Rhonda was not one of the main, she wasn't as successful as her cohorts, but she sure ended up being successful because it was a tremendous financial hit, because it appealed to the market. And that's good. That's good salesmanship. So anyway, that's my reason. And Sean left. I'm sorry. He's got, I lost track of time. But anyway, Jeremy, as you know, I have given away literally thousands of copies of The Master Key. I don't put links down, but if you want to Twitter me, I'll send you the link. I give away the 3 books, the Master Key, and more importantly, the first one, really, it should go. I started reading Think and Grow Rich, then The Master Key, then I found Orison Swett Marden. I would suggest everybody start with Marden and go forward today. And there's a whole bunch of other books there, but I will send you the link, and they're all free. There's no obligation, and we also have some audio excerpts there and so on. So, that would be my recommendation to you. Then watch The Secret.
Okay. Yeah, I keep hearing about it. It's a secret to me. Right. Everybody has a different impression of it. I have no idea.
Well, it was the hot thing. What, Sabrina? How many years? About 8 years ago? 9 years ago?
I'm not sure when it was actually a hot thing per se, the movie, but the audiobook's been a hot thing for me every day. So when I get in my car to go somewhere, I have my audio set and boom, I plug in a disc and I listen to it all the way wherever I'm going for driving, and it helps put me in the mood. There was a lot of action part missing, and I agree with that, but there was one piece in there about a story with a woman who was looking for a perfect partner, and it talked about the action that she took, realizing that she hadn't taken the action that she took, and how she met her perfect partner after she took that action. So even though there was only that one piece on action, I have that action part has always been in the back. Somehow it's stuck. It's been in the back of my head.
What?
Sabrina, I like that too, because that is the funk's way too. You know, I mean, when a flower need to be paired and everything, and that is the power of suggestions. You know, I mean, it's just like, because your mindset. You know, I you know, as for me, you know, and just like I pray, you know, I pray Buddhas, I pray God, whoever answer, whoever extend their hand, I grab it. Simple as that, you know, and continue to do what you do, because if that's suiting, you know, feeding your soul, by any old means, because I think that we need to have somewhere, someplace that we can lean on.
Agreed.
So, Sabrina, I just for fun, years ago I recorded the Master Key. And I've given it, you know, I don't think anybody would want to listen to me that long.
No, I do, Chuck. Please, I'll beg.
But I'll tell you what, I'll get in touch with you on Twitter. I have to go back into the MP3 files and see if they're, you know, I've done it several times, but there have been, from our radio talk show back a few years ago, there are literally thousands of people around the world who have enjoyed it. You know, they must be somewhat perverse or not thinking well, but because the thing that bothered me when I met people on the show, and it was a talk show,
right?
So they talked more than I did. Hanel's writing is not pizzazz. It's not jump out and grab you. You know, definitely the advertising agencies weren't involved. And that's the same thing with Marden's work. And we are a society of a little faster gratification. And I think that's the other reason why listening to the Master Key can be somewhat ponderous, you know, versus listening to The Secret. That's my opinion, because I've listened to both of them. I've listened to myself and I've listened to The Secret. But yes.
Chuck, Dave said he want a copy too. If you have a link, you can post it here.
You know, I will. Here's the problem. I'm not I mark it great for other people. I have to go back and find out which file I have that. There was a period of time, we had a community called the Master Key, and there were, 800-900 people in it, and they paid a lifetime fee, I think, of $50 to be members of it. It was very, it was a huge moneymaker. And what I did is I set up a download file on that website. Okay. So I've got to go back into pull that information out. It's no longer viable, but I'll get it. And everybody's here, and maybe I'll just get a hold of Sabrina and David Moore, and everybody.
And me too.
Okay.
Me too.
Now, these are all MP3 files, so I believe maybe I can share them with you on AWS. Does anybody use Amazon Cloud? Okay, Sabrina does.
Yeah, I'm totally familiar with AWS.
Okay, how about how much gigabytes do we get on this? What's it called, Dropbox?
Oh, I don't know. I use Dropbox.
Well, I can get a hold of you on AWS, because what I'll do is I'll put it up there and open it up to named people.
Well, if you just make that particular file available, Chuck, for everyone, you can share that link and they can download it.
Oh, okay.
In the settings, and if you need help, I can coach you through that. In your settings, when you click on,
I'm very technically oriented.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay,
so you just click on the file, go over to the right-hand side to the settings area, scroll down, and on your settings down there, just make it available to everyone.
Permissions, yeah.
On your permissions.
I do that with. I just posted another poem for Veterans Day that we narrated.
Good.
And in fact, that you can find that. I will JamesStraussAuthor.com. That's James with an S and S for Strauss and 2 S's at the end. Anyway, it's as you know, Jim is a good friend. I brought him in after he came home from Vietnam in 1970, and he's a wonderful writer, very creative. And today's poem was kind of poignant. And anyway, I narrated it and then put a little movie behind it. So
that's nice.
It's somewhat dark, but it's true. And I'm going to leave because not only did we do that, today the newspaper hit the street, and I haven't finished the digital version, so I got to get back and post about 5 more articles. So I'll get back with you all later.
Yeah,
okay?
Chuck, reach out to me on Twitter so I can give you my email address so that we can hook up.
Okay, thank you, Sabrina.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Chuck, thank
Okay.
you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Love intelligent conversation, and thank you so much, Chuck, for offering to give us all a copy of that. That is really very kind of you, and I cannot wait to get my copy. So,
Yeah, me too. And then I would, and he said that the audio and also in print.
I think he's given us a copy of
That audio-
MP3s, which is fine for me because I'll just download them to my
Okay.
MP3 players, because I listen to all that stuff when I have several audiobooks, and I listen to them when I'm doing my gardening. I listen to them when I'm driving, when I'm meditating. And so for me, it's several times a day. So, and I listen to the same ones over and over and over and over and over again. So, which might seem kind of crazy to some people, but they do help set the mood for me when I'm going someplace, and it helps me visualize how things are going to turn out when I get there. So visualizing and acting as if makes it work for me when I arrive.
Yeah, for me too, and Sabrina, I will not let my car moving until I have the CD on my thing. That who I am, because I using my driving time at my classroom time. Whether I listen to something, the same thing over and over, or I have a different set that I listen to. What about you, Jeremy?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned repetition, because that, that's how we learn and absorb something. And, a lot of us are auditory learners. We have to hear things over and over. As a musician, that's how, I learned to be a better musician. There's the visual aspect too, with being able to read the book. But if you can hear the book or hear the material, it just it makes a deeper imprint in our brains, and I think it's more inclined to stick there as an impression we can pull upon later to to take the right action when we're forced with the decision of, okay, I can act or I can sit on the couch, and I know I need to act, but I want to sit on the couch, and you have to gravitate to action as much as you can, and realize that we have to build rest into our routines too. But yeah, repetition is a big deal as far as forming good habits and really making those the cornerstone of how we live our lives on a daily basis.
Well, if those thoughts fade, we don't keep them right here.
True.
They fade. So.
But I must have a caution on that though. But when you listen to it, or like anything else, you have to be intentionally. Yeah. Because if you just listen and you just can't hear, you keep on going. And sometimes, I caught myself doing that. And sometimes that I hear a phrase that's just like, oh, I didn't hear that before. But, because I don't pay attention, I just have just like background music. If sometimes that the background you listen to, it can store to your subconsciousness. However, intentionally listen to it. Every time you listen to, you might hear something different every time, because the same message, but because of the mood you are in, or the journey, the experience you are in, you hear it very much different than the first time or the second time or the third time, because it have to do with your mood and your experience at that moment. Mm-hmm. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Somebody said to you the same thing, but one time it's more meaningful than the other time.
Well, and when you hear things over and over again, it's just like watching a movie the second or third time. You see or hear something that you missed the first time around.
Yeah.
I find that happens for me a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, but see, that what you're counting on your subconsciousness, because what you hear, that will store in your subconsciousness. But when you want seeking for something, for information, you have to listen intentionally. Mm-hmm. That because that's how my driving time is my classroom time. I don't listen to the.
I'm with you. My driving time
radio,
is my classroom time, and actually, so is my gardening time. I have an 1.25 acre yard that is fully landscaped. So I spend many hours weeding because I'm also lean very naturopathically, so I won't allow my husband to spray stuff. So I spend lots of time weeding. So that is my classroom time as well.
Wow, you're thinking that you have to weeding the gardening. I think just like switch the channel. I think that's a meditating time.
Absolutely. Cleaning the house, meditating time, or classroom time. Driving is meditating time.
You clean the window too? No, never mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. See, you are a very interesting person.
Right.
No, you are very talented.
I'm multi-readable.
There is an aspect here that maybe we haven't talked about. We do have to focus on what our goals are too. And I think there are limits to certain things you can multitask effectively and be effective at doing two things at once. Maybe three if you're fortunate. But if you're trying to do four or more, one of them involves talking to your family or paying attention to what they're saying. We've got to give them time too.
Oh yeah.
And so I don't. That's a struggle that I have personally, trying to focus on one thing at a time when I know I have to, and not trying to do three or four things at once, thinking that's going to be a more productive way to act as if I'm already a shortcut to getting to the finish line, if you will.
Jeremy, I schedule everything, and I seriously am not joking. I schedule my family time. I schedule my appointments. I schedule my weeding time. I schedule my entertainment time. I schedule my relaxation time. Because my life is so hectic, I have to schedule those things, because if I don't schedule them, things run over the top of each other, Right. So I have 2 or 3 days a week that I schedule appointments to do things or to meet with people. And then I have 4 days a week when I don't schedule to meet with anybody, period. You cannot get on my schedule on those days, because that's my family time. Saturday and Sunday mornings are my weeding time. Saturday and Sunday afternoons or evenings are my relaxation or enjoyment time. I'm like totally into my airboat. So, you can find me running the swamps on Saturday afternoon, but it's scheduled. Everything I do is scheduled. It's the only way I can it's the only way I can keep my path going.
Sure.
Sabrina, that awareness is the key. You aware of it, and you have the solution to taking care of that. No, I'm head off for you.
If it's not in my schedule,
seriously.
It don't happen.
Wow. So now, talking about the time run very thin, Jeremy is something like that. I just want I know that we go get off the topic a little bit. How you manage your time? Because I know that you're all over places and you do all kinds of different things.
Well,
like Sabrina, you have to schedule everything. What about you?
I have to figure out what my priorities are for every day, and sometimes that'll shift. Depending on the activities of our. Our daughter's in dance, and the dog needs walks and other things, food from time to time, and but really I just try to figure out what the most important priorities are and arrange everything else around that, and then periodically check with my wife and make sure that we're taking care of things we need to do. You have things as a married couple, you've got to talk about different things from time to time, things you have to do with your house or your activities for the month, or, family gatherings, things of that nature. So it's a juggling act, but, I try to figure out what are the 1 to 3 things that are most important today, and using, essentialism, as Greg McKeown talked about it in his book, just trying to really focus on that and, put multitasking kind of on the shelf.
Well, I have to agree with you, Jeremy, and I want to address what Tony says. Tony says multitasking is not being able to dedicate 100% of your mind or attention to detail. And I absolutely agree with him. And I have to say that is the reason that I schedule everything that I schedule. I used to do things like you were just talking about. I'd figure out in the morning what was the most important, and those would be my focus that day, and everything else would get put on the back burner. But I found that the only thing that created for me was a huge cliff of back burner stuff. So when I started scheduling everything, literally everything, it allowed me to schedule the time and focus on that objective. And then I could schedule my next piece of time and focus on that objective. And I even schedule my family time so that I can focus on that objective. And I turn off my phone during that time. But I also found that by doing that and actually scheduling every piece of my life, which works for me, doesn't necessarily work for everybody, but actually scheduling every piece of my life allowed me to accomplish more. Because I wasn't piling all this stuff up on the side of my desk. There was actually a scheduled time to go look at it. So.
No, one thing that, I keep on go because I'm not a gardener, so I don't know how to clean weed anything. But I think that whatever you do, it's just like such a mentally exhaustion. And then when you go to do the garden, it's just like, wow, you just really switch channel entirely, and that's the time that you will, because you can rest your mind. Maybe you physically you might do pulling weed, you do something hard work, but that is the thing that people need. You concentrate on doing something, but again you have to switch your channel. You have to do something entirely different in order for you to stay away from it, and then you can come back with a fresh look at whatever that you have done in the past.
Yeah.
And I think that you're managing time. I mean, there's something that I need to remind you too. Everybody have only 24 hours, and each one of us, how we manage our time, and that is depend on how we think is what is important, and how we accomplish with the 24 hours we have. And I think you guys have done a phenomenal job as keep track and doing that, whatever the method that you are. Jeremy way it might not work for Sabrina. Sabrina way it might not work for Jeremy. Because everybody, just like Mary Beth said, you have to look at your situation and you find, what is your schedule like. Not just because you're going to borrow Jeremy's schedule and work on you, because you will not get anything done. Right, Sabrina? So. That way, I think that, but anything at all, if we want to get it done, we have to act on it. Because, we just go out there to seek in the information, and we had to go home and implement that, and the speed of the implementation that count. Because when you learn something, you need to do it, because you don't want, they say strike when the iron's still hot. When the idea is sizzling hot for you at that time, act on it right away, because if you're waiting for the day, the second day, the third day, it will cool down and come to the point it will be cold. So time is play is essential on our success, because how we manage how we manage to implement it, and that is the key.
Yep.
Right?
Yes. Yeah, I think adaptability and flexibility are part of this too. I mean, if you're going to act as if you've accomplished your goals, you have to know that things are going to change, circumstances are going to change that we can't predict. And I think it's important to be a little bit flexible and adaptable. I like Sabrina's idea of trying to schedule things as best you can, but I've got a lot of things affecting my schedule that I don't have a lot of control over. And so I try to be a little bit adaptable and flexible to, accommodate my wife's schedule in life, my daughter, our dog, other friends and family that need me for things. I think it's important to be there for friends and family when they need us. And I think we need to be adaptable and flexible in order to make that happen and help those people get to the finish line that they have in their minds too, not just ours.
And I agree with you, Jeremy, and I leave some sway in my schedule. I mean, that's not rigid, but, there's some sway left in there. But, yeah, I have to schedule it in order to be able to focus. Otherwise, when I'm trying to spend time with my family, the phone's ringing.
Yeah.
I know?
Yep.
Yeah. you know, the story Jeremy talking about is just like the tree and the oak tree. You know,
Right.
I mean, you have to learn the flexibility and the adaptability too, because you know you want to stay firm on the case, the situation, the time, and sometimes that you don't have that luxury. Sometimes that you have to adapt because things just happened. You know, I mean, I sorry to say a bad word here, but they said life is a bitch. You know, everything it just can come to you at once, and then sometimes that you have to deal with what you have, and then you have to make the best of the situation that you are facing.
Jeremy, does your dog need to go outside?
Soon she's eating now. So now that she's been running back and forth and doing her squeaky toys and all that, which I hope you couldn't hear. I tried to mute that. Now she's ready to eat. I think she just needed to run off some extra energy. I don't know.
Okay, just hang on tight in 4 minutes. You tell that dog what is his
Her name, it's Misty. Yeah,
Oh.
she's eating, so
Misty?
she's oblivious to anything right now anyway.
Great stuff
You know,
today, Doc.
every
Yes.
Great
Yeah?
stuff today.
yes, every week I enjoy meeting you guys, and I am sincerely mean that, as I said from at the opening. My life enriched because of you. And, you know, the thing I learned, the people I met, and that is, I'm so grateful. And and then grateful for this platform, for our conversations, and, you know, for the opportunity to share, to agree and to disagree with each other. But nevertheless, we communicate and we are connecting. So now I know that we have only 2 minutes left, but I just want to say to the people that who are with us today, as well as somebody who will listen to us at a later time, your life is important. You are worth fighting for, and I believe in you. Live your life, you know, with no regrets. Let your vision guide you, and let your heart lead the way. Because, you know, some wise guys have told me one time that if you follow your heart, sometimes something not, you know, get to the way that you want it to, you regret it because thing not, you know, arrive to the place that you wanted to, but you need not to offer the apology, because that if you follow your heart, you okay there.
Sorry, guys, we're talking about dogs. Next thing I knew, mine was squealing.
The dogs are going crazy. That's the common sub-theme of the show.
I know. He only weighs 6 pounds, 3 ounces. So I had to go find, you know, I heard him squeal. So I had to go find out what was going on, because it don't take much to squish him.
Yep.
But you know, Sabrina, just like I mentioned earlier, when you step out, you know, to our soldier, you know, who fought for the war or who fighting for the war, I am so
Yes.
grateful. I'm
I
so
have a
grateful
family
because
in
you
the
fought for
service
freedom
today.
to make my freedom possible. And today is we honor
And
you.
today we do honor you.
Yeah, thank you. So I